I show 6 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. Garfield Township Board. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and could we have a roll call, please?
Sure. Schmuckel.
Here.
McCumber.
Here.
Al McManus.
Here.
Augustinelli.
Here.
Korn.
Here.
Lapp.
Here.
And Jay McManus.
Here, thank you. First item on our agenda this evening is public comment. We have public comment at the beginning and at the end of each meeting. And we also have at least 2 public hearings tonight. So I would just suggest if you're here for one of the public hearings, you may hold your comments until that time during the meeting so they're pertinent to the topic. But other than that, we'll open up the first public comment. If anybody has anything like to say, please state your name and where your resident jurisdiction, and let us know what you have to say.
Good evening. My name is Tom Cervenka, and I'm with Cervenka Development Partners. I'm based out of St. Charles, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago. I appreciate the opportunity to say a few words. I've been following your Plan Commission's discussions regarding data centers and moratoriums and intensive industrial facilities. I want to emphasize that I completely support Garfield Township taking the time to thoughtfully evaluate this emerging industry and establish reasonable standards. However, I would encourage the township to distinguish between large hyperscale campuses and smaller adaptive reuse projects. The project I've been discussing with township staff involves the reuse of an existing industrial building adjacent to a TCL&P substation. TCL&P has confirmed that 20 megawatts of existing capacity is currently available at that location and can be served completely using existing infrastructure. Unlike many of the projects making headlines nationally, this facility would not rely on water for cooling. It would not require large-scale land clearing, and it would be located within an industrial setting, an existing industrial setting. The existing water service currently serving the building would be used for existing toilets and existing fire suppression systems, and that's it. The closed loop systems get filled once every 10 years, and we wouldn't need a big tap, and we're not going to throw millions of gallons up into the atmosphere, and we won't even touch the aquifer. I believe there is a great opportunity for Garfield Township to create regulations that address legitimate concerns regarding that water use, noise, lighting, compatibility, while still allowing appropriately located projects to move forward. One additional consideration is that a large commercial electric load, like what we're looking at, it generates significant revenue for your municipal utility. Those revenues would increase their budgets for system maintenance, infrastructure improvements, future investments without shifting costs onto your residential rate consumers, and this would not affect their rates whatsoever. My request is simply that you guys consider a framework that recognizes the difference between a sub 50 megawatt adaptive reuse project and a 500 megawatt hyperscale campus. Those are fundamentally different land uses with severely different impacts towards your constituents and your town. So I appreciate your time and your consideration. So, thank you.
Thank you. All right. I don't see anybody else running forward, so we'll go ahead and close the first public comment, move on to the review and approval of the agenda. And if anybody has any conflicts of interest, now would be a good time to state those. If not,
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
motion made and supported to approve the agenda as presented. Any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Consent calendar.
The purpose of the consent calendar is to expedite business by grouping non-controversial items together to be dealt with in one board motion without discussion. Any member of the board, staff, or the public may ask that any item on consent calendar be removed therefrom and placed elsewhere on the agenda for full discussion. Such requests will be automatically respected. If any item is not removed from the consent calendar, the action noted in parentheses on the agenda is approved by a single board action adopting the consent calendar. You have minutes from June 9th, 2026, regular meeting, recommend approval. Bills from the general fund, $54,170.19, recommend approval. And consideration of traffic cloud software subscription renewal, recommend approval.
Thank you. Any items anybody on the board would like to have removed or placed elsewhere? Staff, anything you like removed? Anybody in the public like to have anything removed? Seeing none, a motion would be in order.
I would like to make a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Support.
Motion made and supported to approve the consent calendar as presented. Any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none, Ann, can we have a roll on that, please?
Sure. Corn.
Yes.
Augustinelli.
Yes.
McCumber.
Yes.
Lapp.
Yes.
Al McManus.
Yes.
Schmuckel.
Yes.
J. McManus.
Yes, thank you. Under correspondence, you see there was one from Mr. Cervenka, who actually spoke. There's a County Road Commission report. There were two late correspondence that are in your packet tonight on your board. One of note, the Cherryland Electric's going to be having a groundbreaking. And you may have gotten this email directly. We're not sure who it went to, but on July 27th, they're going to have a groundbreaking on Rennie School Road. And then there's also correspondence from Kay Ingram in your packet. Any questions about those, let me know. Moving on to reports. Our county commissioner is on our schedule tonight, but she sent, at 5 o'clock, she sent a written report, which obviously we didn't have time to get into our packet. So if you'd like that report, it went to Chris, he can forward that to you if you'd like to see that report.
Would,
So,
please.
Okay.
Thank you.
all right. And we'll move on to our engineering report. Jennifer?
Thank you. I also didn't have a report in your packet, so.
Uh-oh.
I know, slightly busy, but I'll give you a verbal one. Keep it brief. A few highlights specific to water and sewer. I've been working with BPW, County Board of Public Works, also as their engineer record. We are forming a technical committee, just to give you guys, FYI on that. And basically, the role is going to be working with the other respective township engineers and consultants in the area to discuss technical specs, things that they might be doing in their community that may be beneficial for ours, some collaboration of resources. So I think that's going to be, well, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. We have a bunch of engineers in a room, so I know. But no, seriously, I think it's great that the director's putting that together, so we will have that in July to go through. Also working with them and your rate consultant, Dawn Lund, so she had asked for some additional data and shared with recent cost estimates that have come from the city related to upgrades they're doing respectively for the wastewater plant and the water plant. So I'm anticipating she's probably, I don't want to project for her, but very soon going to be coming to this board for a presentation and some recommendations to you guys related to your water and sewer rates for your enterprise funds. Ongoing, nothing broken per se, but ongoing operations. One of them, and I believe your township manager was included on that, Greyhawk, which is a little pocket area, currently operates, it was temporary, and at one point the booster station was there, which Cedar Run vault station went in its replacement, but it was all temporary in 1990s. Well, there's also an area that's controlled due to topography with reducing valves, and really it just serves about a handful of homes, and so I'm working with them, because ultimately what we're proposing to do is abandon that, because it's quite a lot of maintenance for them in installing individual PRVs on the residents there. So I think that's going to be good practice. So that's kind of something just with age that we're finding doesn't make sense to implement large upscale valves and just doing things at the home level when we have small pockets like that. Commons Agreement District, I will let probably Supervisor elaborate on that a little bit more, but one thing that has come of this and some of the discussions that I've been working on both for the township and the DPW is there's some meter reading discrepancies between that meter and then Veterans Meter, which is an outflow meter to the city, that are, I don't know if they're anomalies, if there's errors, but they're just not making sense with historical trends at all. So we're trying to get some info from the city to navigate that and problem solve that. And it's integral because your supervisor manager have been negotiating with the city on taking over that district, and we really need to get a handle as far as the water volumes that potentially may exist with that. McCray PRV, you guys approved last meeting. I'm already getting contracts, shop drawings with the contractor that was awarded that project. So really, we're just going to wait for equipment and hopefully have that wrapped up as soon as that mainline PRV comes in, hopefully November time period, and then we can get that resolved. Then the other McCray cell is on your agenda for tonight. I've been moving on the booster station respectively to accommodate growth in the south end, and then the other big item is just sitting there is Cass and South Airport. That just is a never-ending story, and working through problem solving. We think we have a solution, no, we can't do it, and it's ongoing. So I can answer any questions anybody has if they have about 5 hours. It's just, it's there. It's a struggle. Parks Project, River East, AJ's doing a great job. And they communicated well. I've been very, very impressed. I wanted to say that publicly, that I very much appreciate them and the attention they're giving to this project. And no, I just want you guys to know that they're just moving fast, and daily there's about, I don't know, 20 cars that keep trying to take their dog to the park, even though there's big barricades there. Commons is also on your agenda tonight to talk about. Then your township manager had requested some information about Red Drive, which may or may not be on discussion tonight. And there's several plan reviews and stormwater reviews. Creekside's on hold. We're working on Chipotle. YMCA water mains installed. We did full-time inspection, and Olson saga continues. So I will, if you guys have any questions for me.
I don't think it'll be your only time up here tonight, so you probably have time to ask you questions later too. So.
We wait. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jennifer. All right, MMR.
Well, I did send my report to you. Chalk one up to me. So good evening, everyone. As you see in the report, last month, 410 calls to service, transported 292 of those patients. 178, there was an increase in transfers out of TC Munson this last month to 178. On to some bad news. We lost one paramedic that relocated, and one went to Metro Fire. So we did hire 2 new people. They're in orientation right now as we speak. Yesterday was day 1, and then we hired a new person as well day before yesterday, Monday. That is going to start next month. So we're going to replace it with 3. But it just sets us back, and obviously it's a super busy time of the year. We're up against the wall with Cherry Festival, so we plan to provide all the coverage for that. The new UTV I talked about last month is almost done. I got a picture of it today. I'm super excited about that still. And that'll be deployed down there as well. All the staffing that we're utilizing for the Cherry Festival coverage is overtime coverage. It's not anybody coming off the road. So it's a costly week, but the crews like it to get out and socialize and eat elephant ears and see people and that sort of stuff. One thing that we added is I've been meeting with Munson, some of the Munson officials, the magistrate judge as well, and looking at the amount of psychiatric patients that need to be transported out of the county as well. So we've started a new trend at looking at that information every month, and with the first quarter, 154 patients left this area that took over 7 hours to complete a call. So when you ask why sometimes we're not available, when we have a truck that's gone 7, 8 hours, that's 3 or 4 911 calls that it could be missing. So we're looking at some avenues. There's some new programs that have started in the country, and we're looking at some of that, but we're going to need some help how to get through some loopholes with that to try to take care of these patients the way they need to go. So just like today, I was checking a truck, and within 35 minutes, 5 911 calls dropped in this area. So like I said, some days you can have 20 ambulances on and it's not enough, and you can have 20 some days and they'd sit around and do nothing. But so it's just kind of some of the obstacles that we're up against every single day. So I just want to let you know that we're looking at that and looking for some other options, some avenues to get people where they need to be. That's it for me.
All right.
Unless you have anything else.
Any questions?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Township Manager.
So I had a conversation with the Community Development Coordinator at the county today regarding the FEMA grant. We're working together to get that to the state police by July 6th for just an initial review before it has to go to FEMA third week in July. So we're just kind of working through that and sharing information. Also, I had learned that the county is doing a housing study that will be concluded in the fall in September, and we're trying to find out if there's an opportunity for us to partner with them to obtain information more specific to Garfield. So their study will be Garfield overarching, some information for individual townships, but we're trying to see if we could drill down a little bit more and get information for this board and our committee who reviews pilots and other housing situations. So working with them on that to see what cost that might be. The TC Curling Club, we have been working with representatives from that organization and our attorney and their attorney, and have come up with an agreement to dismiss their civil suit against us. So it's just a matter of paperwork being filed with the court, and hopefully that will be dismissed with prejudice, which means that they could bring the suit back if they choose in the future. This will allow us to talk with them regarding MTT matters and anything else. So that's good news. We have met with the Northern Michigan Mountain Bike Association group regarding the Commons project. The contract, the agreement is bouncing back and forth between legal counsels. Now it's back in our court to include some of the things that they brought up at our last meeting, and then we hope to have that back to them pretty quickly. I know they want to get this project going this year, this summer. And then looking into a single trash hauler situation with the cost of trash pickup nowadays going up. I talked to a resident recently who expressed concerns, wondered if that was an opportunity for the township. I know in the past we did that. It was through American Waste, I believe, and then GFL took over, so maybe going back 20 years ago. So I'm just checking to see what that looks like for the township to consider, and then I'll bring that back to you at some point in the real near future.
Do we have more than one hauler that you could contact besides GFL?
There's Republic. I see them going around. There was also Waste Management wanting to get back in the area. I don't know how significant that's happened yet. So there's at least 2 or 3 that I can contact to see what that might look like.
If we do a single waste hauler, does that mean everybody in the township has to go on it?
Yes, that would be the requirement.
Be negotiated, right? Molly?
What we did in the past on that was we had a preferred. So we got a better rate for everybody who lived in Garfield Township with a specific hauler. People just didn't like being told that they have to use somebody, maybe for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, good luck.
Well, there's pros and cons to it,
Yeah.
both sides, and my goal is just to bring it to you to see what you'd like to do.
I like the idea. I mean, it's, on my street, I have a little street, and we have 2 haulers that are in there, so we have 4 trucks a week. And, we're not built to Class A roads there. And so if we could do it, it'd be a
Yeah, but-
wonderful thing, but.
Telling them that they have to do it is another thing, yeah.
but it's not uncommon.
Oh, yeah.
It's
No.
not.
No, it's not.
And it
It's not.
usually is a significant savings in money.
Yeah.
So it's something that's worth looking into, checking the feasibility of it, for
Well, I know
sure.
when Waste Management, when we had Waste Management, they were a lot cheaper than the one I had previous, so I switched to them immediately.
But not anymore.
No, it's GFL, but they've given me the same price as Waste Management has the past 2 years, and I pay for it by the year, not by month.
You have a question, Chuck, or not?
I was just going to point out that when we did this with the preferred vendor, we had a local family who was very, I think, cooperative. Things have changed.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's worth looking at.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing to look into, check into the feasibility and see where it goes. So,
That's all I have for my report.
all right, thank you, Chris. Supervisor report, not too much, but Jennifer mentioned Red Drive. You know, we know we're going to have some decisions to be made on Red Drive, but regardless of which direction we go, we have to figure out a way to get the water from the west side of Red Drive to the east side of Red Drive. So we've done some preliminary numbers, and it's within my spending limit, about $4,500. We can get a wetland delineation, soil integration, field data, topos, and then get Eagle's input to see what needs to be done there. So regardless if we, you know, do it motorized, non-motorized, we need to get the water out of there first. So if there's no objective, we'll probably move forward with that phase, just getting that evaluation done and getting Eagle's input on what the correct fix is. Eagle will have to be involved based on the amount of water and wetland in that area. So, and then in addition to that, adding to it, we did have a call today with Ann Jameson from Brownfield, and looking at ways to not necessarily fix that part of Red Drive, but the parking lot part of Red Drive to not the paved part of the parking lot on Red Drive. There may in fact be some Brownfield money available for that. So we're checking into that as well. That came up today. It may be a similar situation where with the city right now, where we maybe at least that roadway to the city until the brownfield's paid back and then comes back to us, because brownfield has to flow through the city right now. So, but it could be a way to get that road fixed too with brownfield money. So more to come on that. River East, real good project. I don't know if anybody's been by River East. Really a lot of progress quickly over there. Looking good. The on-site, our staff, our engineer, everybody's really happy with the contractor. They're doing a good job and appear to be right on schedule, so that's good news. Metro, you should be seeing a Metro budget. Preliminaries done. It's going to come to the Metro board in July, and you should see it probably in August. So the Metro budget looks good. Adding staff and still keeping a consistent millage rate, no increase in the millage rate this year is what's projected. Chris and I were at a meeting at the city last week, and we're able to, with a lot of local officials, and we're able to meet the new city attorney who's going to be replacing Lauren. They're contracting. It's Kelly and Company downstate, so he was there, so we had an opportunity to meet with him. Chris and I also met with Ben and Lauren last week. Jennifer mentioned the Commons area. Yeah, there's some weird stuff going on. We're not sure where all the water is going right now, so we're getting some billings and some meter readings and comparing notes to before we take that area over to figure out, there's a lot of water going in, and then our veterans meter down here is not putting any water back into the city, so we're not sure that all the connections got unhooked that we're supposed to. That's what we're checking into. So we have to compare the meter readings into the Commons with what was actually billed out, and they're supposed to provide us with that. So more to come, much more to come on that one. So that's all I had on my report this evening. So any questions for me?
Did you want to report on the steering committee that we met?
Oh, yeah, I guess, thank you. Yeah, we did have the first meeting of our South Airport Road Steering Committee. Thanks, Denise, for reminding me. I showed up a little late because it was not on my calendar. I said, you got to give me a calendar invite. But we did have the first meeting of that steering committee, and outlining its focus and its direction, and then outlining what the advisory group that'll accompany that will look like. So a lot more to come on that. Pretty aggressive timeline. They want that study and recommendations done in a year. And that's really aggressive timeline, but it's just basically around how do we make South Airport stable and safe and eliminate the risk of it washing out like it almost did in April, basically is what the goal is. So, all right, thank you. Anything else for me? Questions? All right, we'll go ahead and move on. Unfinished business, consideration of the Grand Traverse Commons North Trail Loop cost. We asked Jennifer, we postponed this at our last meeting to get a couple more estimates on costs, especially around the steel versus wooden bridge idea. So Jennifer, I don't know if you wanted to go through that.
Thank you, sir. At the request of this board, for context, so the original letter recommendation is still in here. I did include, I recall, Denise, you might have mentioned the bid tab. So that's in there for context. But then what you guys saw last time was a value engineer, the spreadsheet, and so the base bid, and I don't know if you guys have it in color. I think you do. So it's in green, and then the pink is what you saw modified that provided adjustment to the boardwalk from 10 foot to 8 foot, which was discussed with staff and still compliant with the DNR. So that was and then the other item that I had discussed with the contractor and then mentioned at this board was a different style bridge. So that's what you're seeing in blue, which again has some significant cost impact and gets us pretty close to our estimate that was updated. I'm going back dates now. Probably late fall, worked out with the DNR because ultimately our original estimate, as I had mentioned last meeting, we're not able to align with just because of all the extra crossings and enforcement that came from Eagle related to the landfill, the stream crossings. So estimates were updated, but what you guys are seeing now in the pink is if you were to go with an alternate bridge option, and Denise sitting on Parks Committee, you may remember seeing these renderings. So I kind of went through and updated to provide cost, pros and cons, timelines. And I even, to mention to this board too, took the opportunity to discuss this with your park stewards on the matter and just get their input if there was a preference related to maintenance. And they're not here either, but not to speak for them, but what was indicated is, although the steel bridge is nice, the concern for this area, which they encounter quite frequently, is just a lot of people spray painting. So regardless if it's steel, if it's wood, with the area, the boardwalk, the wood, it's all gonna, hopefully not, but it's at risk of getting spray painted regardless. So even if you have steel, there's gonna be maintenance involved if that does happen. So their opinion, they really didn't have one, and anything compelling to, offset to go with the steel bridge related to maintenance, because they felt that they probably were still gonna have to do it, although we hope we don't. But I did want to just share that because I took the opportunity to talk to them too. And, it's translating to a pretty significant cost savings to go this route. And I wanted you guys to see, the styles that are, a couple styles that are available to you specific to railings. And it's treated timber. So it's got chemicals added to it to help with pests, infestation, and then at some point, if there are boards that go bad, they can get replaced. And the nice thing that, to me, that's also appealing is it's very easy for a contractor to bring them in because it's a kit. So it doesn't require heavy mobilization, cranes like a steel bridge would, and it aligns a lot better with our timeline. So, but I can answer any questions you guys have, or if there's anything more additional I can provide. And
Molly, you had your hand up first.
Life expectancy of wood versus steel.
That's a good question. I mean, the steel one with the decking, I mean, because the decking for the steel one still has wood members to it, so they're gonna have replacement, but the steel, it will last longer. And that's where, with the wooden structure and the timber, I mean, that's where some of the cost offset is as boards go bad, just like anybody that has, you know, a wood deck at home, as opposed to, you know, if you have vinyl or, you know, the composite, it is going to have a different life expectancy. To tell you how long, I can't really, because it depends on the environment it's in too. But yeah, I would gauge to say, you know, the steel bridge, the railing anyway, is going to be there considerably longer in years than the wooden one, but you can go through and strategically replace boards and maintain it as needed. They both will have concrete abutments, so the protection and the buildup on the banks will have the same life expectancy, but it's just the members within. So I hope that answers your question.
Well, the wood is gonna look more natural,
Yeah.
and it's, you know, kind of a.
Well, that's why the illustrations help a lot, I think. I mean, they did for me anyway, and there's different styles that you guys can pick from. And the same's true for the steel too. I mean, there's different railing styles. You can go that route also, but, no, it's a great question.
Lori, did you have a question?
Yeah, approximately, what is the widest crossing on that trail?
30 feet. It's a 30, yeah.
It's not very wide, okay, all right. I was
And that's
trying to
bank
get a
full width,
sense of-
that's not accounting for surface water, but that's imposed from Eagle, is 30 feet wide. If that's the span of the bridge, how.
Yeah, it's not a very big
But for
bridge.
width-wise
Okay.
to traverse it, I mean, what we're
Okay.
proposing is 8 feet,
Right,
but the span is 30.
30.
For this one. The other ones, there are 2 other crossings, but they're a lot more modest, 8 to 10 feet.
Okay.
So we're able to do those with boardwalk and then helical piles. This one, it was not the desire to do a wooden one with helical piles, just because you'd have so many. And from the Parks Board, and it didn't provide any cost savings either way, so that's why I didn't provide that, you know, to you guys as an option, unless, now that I bring it, I mean, I can, but you basically look at this wooden one and you'll just have, you know, helical piles instead of the abutments every 10 feet.
And how many of the bridges are there?
3.
3.
Well, we don't really call them we call them crossings, I know.
Okay. Sorry.
Sorry, I'm being technical, yeah.
Fair
no,
enough,
yeah.
okay. But the widest
But this
one
is the only one that's
30 feet
considered a
span
bridge,
across,
yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're 10 feet wide or 8 feet wide?
The ones we're proposing are going to be 8 feet, just
Okay.
from a cost perspective.
Yep.
Any other questions for Jennifer? I mean, if you look at the green, pink, blue, you know, that was the original one, just, you know, going from 10-foot boardwalks down to 8, we reduced basically exactly 100, you know, 98,000 by doing that. And then by going to a wooden bridge versus a steel, it took another roughly 70,000 off
Yeah.
there. So that's where we're at right now, and you know, if the board wants to look at it, study it, digest it, or act on it, I don't know what anybody's preference is. So we have, I think, Chris, if we moved within the money's, that's pretty much in the parks budget this year to do that.
So I was just crunching those numbers. 955,600 is in the parks budget, but you have to shift some projects around.
Right.
The wayfinding, dredging of Olson's Pond, the Red Drive Trailhead, the engineering for that was about 15,000. So moving those projects around and then reprioritizing them would give you that total amount of money in the budget to put towards this project. So if you, Jennifer, is this correct? 998,000 would be the cheapest? The blue column?
Yeah, in my intent, and I've talked to the contractor, I mean, part of it too, because with the trail, we'll be working with park staff, continuing to, you know, as your rep, whittle that down. He realizes that too, with some budget constraints and where we're at, and trying to continue to value engineer, because there are going to be some areas where maybe we don't need to have some of those switchbacks, and, you know, as we walk the path, we might find a better route, with the goal to try to, you know, continue to get that price down. But the 998 is the max.
Okay.
In the worst case, in my intent is, to continue to work with them to have it lower than that.
So if you use that figure, and subtract what, what's totally in our budget, you'd have to contribute an additional $42,587.75 from the general fund. But keep in mind, too, there's a $300,000 grant that's going to come back to you. So at the end of the day, you're going to be out of pocket, but 600 and some thousand to look at the whole picture.
Jennifer, can I ask one more question? Well, of course I can. Thank you. I can ask one more
No,
question.
no, you can't.
I'm not gonna ask.
Yes.
Does this trail connect with the mountain bike trail that's proposed? And would this be how the mountain bikers are getting to that trail?
No.
No, the mountain bike trail is separate. This is not going to be a bike.
They're not close to each other.
This is the ADA accessible walking trail, so that will not have any bike traffic allowed on it.
Okay, all right.
Now, what we did do is working with planning department, though, to elaborate on your manager's point of view as far as the Red Drive trailhead, this does incorporate into that. And so we opened it up so it just didn't dead end. So there is some modifications in creating, a space, so at least to accommodate for some trash receptacles. So we did do above and beyond as far as our expectations we set for the contractor to, rather than just say, oh, you're done.
you're done.
So we kind of opened it up, and so it does provide a space and factor in some of that. So some of those costs, you're taking it away, but we did add some value and incorporate it into this project. So I would feel that some of it is repurposing as intended in the CIP.
I would like to make a motion that we go with Walton for the $998,187.75 for the crosswalks. Is that what I call them?
Well, that's for the whole trail. That's the whole project.
The whole trail?
That's the trail, the
Okay.
bridges, the completed project, that,
For the crosswalks and the trails?
yeah, for the trail project, yes. So,
Support.
okay, motion made and supported to approve the bid by Walton, revised modified bid for $998,187, not to exceed, and 75 cents, for the project with the modified crossings and bridges. And it would obviously come out of the Parks Fund. When we get the final cost, if there is a cost overrun, it would have to take out of the general fund, but we won't know that. They may be able to trim that much more out of the project as they work through it. So, any other discussion on that? And can we have a roll call on that, please?
Schmuckel?
Yes.
Was that Lapp who seconded? McCumber?
Yes.
McCumber. Lapp.
Yes.
Al McManus?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
Gustinelli?
Yes.
And Jay McManus.
Yes. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you. I will, so next steps for you guys, work with Walton on contracts, reflect this as a change order, and then work with staff, because we'll be uploading this to the DNR and getting approvals for them to move ahead with, as you guys proposed. So I appreciate it. It's going to be an awesome trail when it's done. So a lot of work, so thank you.
Long time in the making, for sure.
Thanks, Jennifer.
All right, item B, under unfinished business, consideration of employee handbook update. Chris?
So the board approved an update last meeting, and we discussed adding a little update to the information releases section, and the changes that are proposed are in red. It's in your packet. And so I just asked that you approve those changes, and we'll add it to the whole handbook.
Do we need to make a
If-
motion on that? Or just say,
I think so.
Probably make a motion to approve the handbook
Please.
with the new amendments.
I make
to
a
it.
motion that we approve the employee handbook with the information release changes at 6.5.
Support.
Motion made and supported to approve the handbook amendments as stated in the packet. Any further discussion on that motion? Yeah.
So if the news media reaches out to me as an elected official, I will have to ask the supervisor or manager if I, as an elected official, can reply to the media.
This just
That's-
says that the supervisor or township manager.
If it's something in your normal reports, something that we give to the public, it's in our packets, you can talk about it all day.
This makes it seem like I have to, as an elected official, get permission from another elected official to reply.
Yeah, we're all elected
That
officials.
would be all of us.
That'd be all of us. We're
That
all
was what
elected.
the-
This,
that
they
was
took
what-
out elected officials, so
Right.
only the supervisor or manager
Right.
can reply or give permission to reply. I would like to be able to reply if somebody wants to interview me, or defer it if I want to defer it.
But what if it's about something that you are not that familiar with?
I mean, I still am an elected official, elected by the people, and I should be able to give my opinion on something if I want to.
We can't fire you.
Right.
Yeah, but that's what we ran
I
into
think you're kind of
before.
limiting people's freedom of speech.
But we ran into that before.
Yeah,
Molly?
I think I support it because if we have all of us, I mean, somebody could come to me and ask me a question and I could, give them a half an hour speech on something too, representing the board, but we tried that before. Other people were answering to the newspaper and somebody else on the TV, and the story was never,
Same.
we decided kind of a long time ago that one person would speak for the board, and it could be the supervisor, or now it could be the manager. And
The subject came up at the last meeting that there was, it was stated that there was a previous resolution on file where it was only the supervisor that was authorized to speak to the press. And the whole idea was to add the township manager, being that the supervisor is part-time and the manager is full-time. Though the adjustment we suggested was just to add the manager. Now, whether that resolution has been used or enforced, I don't know. But that was the premise of the conversation we had.
Here's how I read it. I can speak as Lori Lapp, who happens to be a trustee for Garfield Township, but I cannot speak as Garfield Township. That's how I'm reading it. I still have the freedom to speak my mind as Lori Lapp. But this restricts me from speaking as the voice of Garfield Township.
so if somebody came to you and said,
What do you think
Or
about?
what do you think about these bridges that we just approved over there? The board has already voted. How would you respond? I mean, if you're in favor, great, but if you're not in favor, fine too. But, we don't want to be you with
Unwinding.
opinion, Laney with an opinion, Chloe with an opinion, Chuck with an opinion, everybody. The board needs to speak as one, so how do you do that?
I
And we
think you
had
can
that-
say that it's preferred that it go through the supervisor manager, but I just disagree that you should like, how this reads is that all information released from the township about the township must be cleared and approved by the supervisor or manager. So, and it doesn't say township business, like a news person could call me and ask about something tax related, and then based on this, I have to get it cleared through the supervisor and manager if I want to reply or answer.
Yeah.
So it's very limiting.
I agree with you, Chloe, because if they ask me something about elections, I know more about it than Joe or Chris.
I mean, I get overall, we want to have one voice and, especially in crisis situations, you want to have one person responding. So I think maybe this needs to be cleared a little bit more, but I do think you're elected and you should be able to talk to people, the media, say your opinion. This is limiting you as an elected official to not be able to give your opinion. And it may be different from the board. You shouldn't say this is the board's opinion if you're being interviewed. You should say this is my opinion,
I
but
think there's a big difference between somebody calls Laney up and wants to know about early voting and how great it is or how bad it is, or if they want to talk to you about, what our millage rate is. Those are simple questions that are specifically expertise of you. But if they call up Laney or Chloe or Lori or Molly or anybody and start asking about a potential development or something that we're dealing with, then it needs to be vetted before it's answered, because it might be information that we want to make sure the right message is going out. So I don't have an issue if it's in your wheelhouse, it's in your expertise. But if it's something to do with, one of the hot topics out there right now is homeless, okay, and the homeless issue. Okay, well, if, that needs to be, dealt with based on the facts that we spend a lot of time studying and analyzing that issue and what the progress and what the future of that looks like. So those are the issues, I think, that need to be vetted and dealt with one voice versus multiple. So if somebody wants to call you up and talk about, what the millage rate is, or in something, anything in the treasurer's office, anything in the clerk's office, no problem with that. But does that make sense?
It makes sense. I know that a couple years ago we had this where there was somebody, I think it was Record Eagle, was calling everybody, and we're all getting different answers. But like the problem, I had a phone call the other day from a reporter that wanted my personal opinion on data centers, and I would not give it to him. Well, why won't you? It's your personal opinion. I don't feel comfortable doing. Well, what does the township think of it? Again, I'm not going to give you an opinion. And they were brazen on the phone with me. And I finally said, have a good day, and hung up. So if they're doing that to me, who's to say it's not going to go to everybody else, and everybody else is going to be... And then we're going to have, excuse my language, but a pissing match among us. Because, well, you said this to the Record Eagle, and you said something different to the Record Eagle. We don't need that. We need one person to answer the media questions, I feel.
So can we put language in here? I agree with the clerk and the treasurer that they should be able to speak about their area of expertise. It's not an opinion. Usually it would be fact. Okay, this is the millage, this is what it's for, blah, blah, blah. Then the treasurer would answer those questions. But when it's a personal opinion about something, that's something else. So how would we put language in there to have the...
I guess I'd ask that we go, rescind the motion, send it back to staff. We'll look at ways to word that. As a reminder, again, we brought this because we're under the impression there was a previous town board may or may not have implemented a resolution stating that, but we can't seem to find that.
Yeah, we couldn't find the
Yeah,
resolution.
so.
Does that cover your...
Well, still, I mean, if I want to express my opinion on data centers to my constituents, I should be able to, even if I don't agree with the board. I should be able to say, this is my personal opinion. I'm voted by the people to represent them. I should be able to tell them what my opinion is, and this is saying I can't. Or if I want to speak out, I disagree with how Garfield's handling something, I can't do that. You're really limiting free speech here.
I don't think it's opinion.
But that's not how I read it, Chloe.
No, I don't
Able to
read-
give your opinion or facts to the media, in my opinion.
I think opinion is one thing, but township information should go, we shouldn't give them 16 different answers. That's why with me, opinion I understand, I totally understand. But if it's about township business, that I think should go through our supervisor or manager.
When I read this is I'm not speaking on behalf, I shouldn't speak on behalf of the township. I am just Lori Lapp.
Well then, yeah, if we changed it to that language, I think that would be
But
better.
I don't
But I
think
think you
this
should
is
be able to give your
restricting me
opinion.
to speak as Lori Lapp.
It's not restricting, this is not restricting you to speak as Lori Lapp.
Right.
It says all information released has to go through the supervisor and manager.
Information released.
Information released, but that would
Released.
mean that I wouldn't say, I don't know, what I learned about a legal case or something like that, that wouldn't be,
I don't know, we can vote on it, I'm gonna vote no for it.
Well, I would suggest instead of even calling the question that we rescind it, rewrite it with language that's palatable. But the whole idea is that when somebody, a press agency, whether it be local, whatever, calls, that they're directed to either the supervisor or the manager for their input. if it's, again, if it's expertise in the clerk's office or treasurer's office or whatever, or if you're out in the public talking as a citizen, you can voice your opinion all you want, but the idea being there needs to be a narrow voice for the township when it comes to township issues. We don't, well, I didn't like the answer Chris gave, so I'm gonna call up Chuck and see what he thinks. Well, Chuck didn't give me the right answer. I'm gonna call Molly up. Maybe I'll get the answer I want out of Molly and create confusion, or then where instead we want a consistent voice that, we have time to investigate, research it, see what the answer to the question is that they're asking, rather than just off the cuff. So I would suggest, if you don't like the way it's written, we have a motion and a second. The motion could be rescinded. We send it back to staff and rewrite it. There's no pressing issue here. We're not on any kind of a big deadline to get this approved. So who made the motion?
I did.
And who seconded?
I did.
I would suggest that if that's the way we feel, that if you rescind and she rescinds her second, we postpone it to a future meeting.
I don't want to rescind my motion.
Oh, okay. Well,
I want to keep it as it is right now.
okay. Then we'll vote on it the way it is right now.
Well, Lori,
Hmm?
if Lori did the second, she can rescind her second.
You could rescind your second.
I'm going to rescind my second, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I'm used to seeing these in employee handbooks all the time, because you don't want an employee speaking as the voice of the company. Now, I do see that in a public setting, that's a little different, right? I'm not an employee of Garfield Township. I'm an elected official representing the citizens of Garfield Township. And I do agree with Chloe, if somebody asks me what I think about something, I can tell them what I think about something. I also think that I have the personal responsibility to use my good judgment to not create friction or chaos or release information that should be confidential. But that's on me. That's my responsibility. So.
Motion was made.
Before I rescind my motion, how would this be written? I mean, that's my question.
I don't know.
All right, then I'll rescind the motion and have it rewritten however, and then we could discuss it then.
And I would suggest that any members that want specific language get with Chris and give your input on how it should be rewritten.
work
Chris,
on
did you have a
it.
question?
It could be, it's preferred that any information released, regarding township business be done so through the manager or supervisor. However, this does not preclude elected officials from releasing information if they choose. So I'll try to articulate something and bring it back, but.
Part of the thing is too, is this is an employee handbook.
Right.
So basically, this is saying that an employee should be doing this. This really, in reality, doesn't give us, because we are not employees, we are elected officials. This is an employee handbook. This is what the employees need to do. So I can't go to John Syke as a reporter and ask him a question without John then in turn, possibly talking, or the township manager is going to say, well, that's a question you need to talk to John Syke about.
And
But
we've
you
done-
can't have the receptionist answer a question about township business without going before a supervisor or a manager. So to
think
me, this is an employee handbook.
I think we can cover
I
everybody's
think we
concerns.
can add some language that is a little, I understand Chloe's point. I understand your point, Denise. I understand Joe's point. I think we can add just a couple sentences.
I
That's
rescind my
basically how
motion.
we've been handling it now. There's been many occasions where I get somebody to call, and I call up John and say, hey, John,
Yeah.
handle this, because it's his expertise. And I give John
Oh, absolutely.
permission to answer that question. So, all right, so are you rescinding your
I did
motion?
rescind my
Okay,
motion.
Second, and the motion is rescinded.
To be brought back at next meeting.
Yeah, do we have a motion to postpone?
So July 14th?
Motion is made. Any
Support.
Yep.
Motion made and supported to postpone this until a future meeting. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. New business, consideration of Cass Road cleanup estimate. Chris?
So I'll start this one off. In your packet is a letter from our zoning administrator, Mike Green, and also a quote from a cleanup company, and some pictures of debris that they would clean up according to the quote. So this is a historical case dating back probably years of a property that's in violation of our junk ordinance, and the homeowner has not complied with our ordinance, so the case proceeded through court, and through the court process, the judge basically created an order that would allow the township to go in and clean up the property for compliance, and then pass that cost on to the property owner, and then recoup those costs through assessing those costs through taxes. So this is kind of a rare circumstance. We don't do this very often, but this is a case where the property owner just refused to comply, and this is the option that was taken in the past, and that's where we're at today. So we're looking for the board's approval to, potentially utilize this company for the cleanup efforts.
I have a question, Joe. Haven't we done this before, like with,
Yeah, he is supposed to.
remember, we had that problem with the one house that never cut their grass? And then we went out and ended up cutting the grass and then charging them.
Yep.
So we've done this before. This is not the first time that we've done
Yeah,
this.
there's a specific act for cutting grass, but this cleanup would require
Right.
going to court.
And we did get
And we
court,
already did.
and we already got that okay.
Yeah, this is under court order that we can execute this.
Correct.
So would you need a motion to allow them to go in and clean it up?
The motion would be allow us to
Accept
hire the
bid.
company to do the work.
I make a motion that we hire Junk Titan to clean up the Cass Road property in the amount of $16,550.
Support.
Motion made and supported to hire the Junk Titan to clean up the blighted site on Cass Road, in the amount of $16,550. Chris, to clarify, we pay this up front,
Correct.
okay, and then it's applied to their tax bill?
Correct. It would have to come from our general fund because we typically don't have that budgeted.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Just wanted to clarify where the money comes from. All right. Any further discussion on that motion? Okay. Ann, could we have a roll call on that, please?
Schmuckel.
Yes.
Augustinelli.
Yes.
Corn.
Yes.
Lapp.
Yes.
Cumber.
Yes.
L. McManus.
Yes.
J. McManus.
Yes, thank you. Next up is a public hearing, consideration of Copper Ridge PUD major amendment at 4050 Barnes Road. This is on page 45 of your packet. I don't know if there's any need to kick it off, or John, or just go into the public hearing. I'm not sure what you want to do. Go ahead and let us know what's going on here.
Good evening, John Syke, Planning Director. Just wanted to mention that this is a fairly simple amendment to the Copper Ridge Plan Unit Development. It's to incorporate 4050 Barnes Road, which is a 2.75 acre parcel, which has access off of Barnes Road, but also the entrance City View Drive to the PUD. So this would be allowing the flexibility that the PUD currently has to be done for this property. Should you take action, just to note there are two motions. There's one to consider a recommended findings of fact, and then there's one with a recommended action.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll go ahead and open up the public hearing. If anybody wishes to speak to this amendment for Copper Ridge, now's your opportunity to come up and let us know what you have to say. All right, I don't see anybody coming to speak to this, so we'll close public hearing, bring it back to the board.
I make a motion that the findings of fact for application SUP-2000-08-P submitted by Hand Surgery Partners LLC for a special use permit, major amendment to the Copper Ridge Planned Unit Development in support of the requested amendment to the Copper Ridge Planned Unit Development, and as recommended for adoption by the Planning Commission, be adopted.
Support.
Motion made and supported that the findings of fact for SUP 2000-08-P be adopted as recommended by the Planning Commission. Any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
If I do the second one, do I have to do 1, 2, and 3, or just?
Just state them as
Okay.
being there.
I make a motion that the application SUP 2000-08-P submitted by Hand Surgery Partner LLC for the special use permit major amendment for the Copper Ridge Planning Development be approved, subject to the following conditions of 1 through 3 as indicated in the Planning Department Report 2026-84.
Support.
Motion made and supported to approve the motion of application SUP 2000-08 as stated with conditions 1 through 3. Any further discussion on that motion? Ann, can we have a roll call on that, please?
Schmuckel.
Yes.
McCumber.
Yes.
Alan McManus.
Yes.
Lapp.
Yes.
Horn.
Yes.
Castanelli.
Yes.
And Jay McManus.
Yes, thank you. Next is a public hearing, consideration of a mixed-use suburban and mobile food vending units zoning ordinance amendment, Resolution 2026-20-T, starting on page 60 in your packet.
So this is an amendment to, there's 3 parts, Articles 2, 3, and 7. Article 2 adds some definitions for dwelling, limited residential, and commercial, and a definition for mobile food vending units accessory. It also amends the definition for food trucks, which references mobile food vending units accessory. Article 3, it adds a new district, the mixed-use suburban district, which is building on some of the mixed-use districts earlier this year did the local neighborhood, mixed-use neighborhood district. This one is now a little bit more intensive, more of a commercial district, but not as intensive as our general commercial district. Article 3 also amending it, it adds in a provision for locating mobile food vending units or food trucks as a use permitted by special conditions in our commercial districts. And it does remove primary solar energy systems from all districts except for industrial and agricultural districts. Plus, there's a series of miscellaneous minor edits. And finally, there are some supplemental regulations in Article 7 that are amended. We will add some provisions for mobile food vending units as an accessory use to commercial uses, and then also amending the section regarding primary solar energy systems. And just to point out, this will also, in terms of the mobile food vending units, will coincide with the other consideration on your agenda for the actual licensing ordinance. The zoning portion is just for the location of that, so there would have to be a plan to actually identify where that would be located on the particular site, and that would be reviewed prior to any license being issued.
So all of these have to be licensed then, right, John?
License and receive zoning approval.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll go ahead and open up the public hearing for consideration of Resolution 2026-20-T. Doesn't look like anybody's here to talk to this, so we'll close the public hearing, bring it back to the board.
I make a motion that Resolution 2026-20-T to adopt amendment number 50 to the Garfield Township Ordinance number 68 to be adopted.
Support.
Motion made and supported to approve Resolution 2026-20-T. Any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none. Ann, can we have a roll on that one, please?
Schmuckel.
Yes.
Castanelli.
Yes.
Lapp.
Yes.
Alan McManus.
Yes.
McCumber.
Yes.
Corn.
Yes.
And Jay McManus.
Yes. All right, as John mentioned, right behind that, we have a public hearing in consideration of the mobile food vending unit licensing ordinance, Resolution 2026-18-T. This starts on page 126 of your packet. Again, I think John pretty much talked to all of these, unless, you have anything else to say, John, or are you just ready to go on this one? Okay. So it's in your packet. We'll go ahead and open up the public hearing. Again, anybody who wishes to speak to Resolution 2026-18-T, and also the fee schedule, which accompanies it, which is Resolution 2026-19-T. We'll open the public hearing for both of those resolutions at this time. And it looks like we are not have anybody here for that one either. Close that public hearing, bring it back to the board.
I make a motion that Resolution 2026-18-T for mobile food vending unit licensing ordinance number 83, as attached to the Planning Department Report 2026-92, be adopted.
Support.
Motion made and supported to approve Resolution 2026-18-T. Any further discussion on that one? Hearing none, and roll call, please.
Schmuckel?
Yes.
Who seconded that, sorry?
Lapp.
Lapp?
Yes.
Al McManus?
Yes.
McCumber?
Yes.
Corn?
Yes.
Augustinelli?
Yes.
And Jay McManus?
Yes.
I make a motion that Resolution 2026-19-T for the revised fee schedule as attached to the Planning Department Report 2026-92 be adopted.
Support.
Motion made and supported to adopt Resolution 2026-19-T, which is the fee schedule. Any further discussion on that motion?
Yeah, question.
Yeah.
Any other fees that have changed? Or we're just adding that one fee? No other fees have changed? Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, hearing none. And can we have a roll on that one, please?
Schmuckel?
Yes.
Lapp?
Yes.
McCumber?
Yes.
Corn?
Yes.
Al McManus?
Yes.
Augustinelli?
Yes.
Jay McManus?
Yes. Okay, moving on. Consideration of a revised resolution supporting the Opportunity Zone designation, Resolution 2026-17-T, which is on page 135 in your packet. Chris can elaborate, but basically I think we did a resolution and it had 3 opportunity zones identified and it changed to 2. Does that sound close, Chris?
Correct, yep.
So all we're really doing is restating the resolution with the correct verbiage, send it down to the governor for a request to get these opportunity zones recognized. So there is no public hearing on this one, it's just for your consideration.
And there's a recommended motion in the planning report as well.
I'll make the motion to adopt the revised resolution supporting the Opportunity Zone designation for census tracts 5513.01 and 5513.03.
I'll second that.
Motion made and supported to approve the revised resolution for the Opportunity Zone distinction. Any further discussion on that motion? Being a resolution, and can we have a roll on that, please?
Augustinelli?
Yes.
Corn?
Yes.
McCumber?
Yes.
Schmuckel?
Yes.
Lapp?
Yes.
Al McManus?
Yes.
Jay McManus?
Yes. All right, item F, public hearing, consideration of granting Wolverine Power Cooperative Incorporated a revocable electric service franchise agreement, Resolution 2026-16-T.
So in front of you is a franchise ordinance proposed for Wolverine Power. And one thing that, or a couple things I want you to know is that when they originally proposed this, we're having issues with contractors hitting our infrastructure, our water lines, sewer lines, and we knew that we could increase the requirements in these. For instance, we required that they shall submit all proposed work to the township for review and approval before they start work, which wasn't in their original franchise agreement. Also, we reserve the right to get with the sheriff department on any safety concerns or traffic concerns. We also can require them to put money in escrow for us to review their plans, and we can also require them within 60 days to give us as-built drawings. Those things did not exist in pretty much previous franchise agreements or the one by Wolverine. So we did a better job of protecting the township infrastructure through the way it was written. So, so I just request that you consider approving it, and we're going to use this as a template for all future ones. That's the goal.
This is a public hearing, right?
Consumers has none. They refuse to make any changes.
Well, I think what we found through this process, we had a lot of franchise agreements that were expired or long since expired, so we're trying to get them all updated with the new language and try to protect ourselves a little bit too, so. All right, with that explanation, we will go ahead and open up the public hearing. Excuse me, if anybody's here to speak to the consideration of granting Wolverine Cooperative the franchise agreement, please come forward and let us know what you have to say. Seems to be the case. Nobody's coming forward. We'll close public hearing, bring it back to the board for your consideration.
I make a motion that we adopt Resolution 2026-16-T regarding franchise agreement granting revocable electrical service franchise to Wolverine Power Supply Cooperative Incorporated.
I'll second that.
Motion made and supported to approve Resolution 2026-16-T, which is the franchise agreement for Wolverine Power Supply. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none. Ann, could we have a roll on that one, please?
Schmuckel.
Yes.
Corn.
Yes.
Gustinelli.
Yes.
L. McManus.
Yes.
Lapp.
Yes.
Cumber.
Yes.
J. McManus.
Yes. Okay. All right, moving on. Item G, consideration of engineering services for the proposed McCray Hill Road storage tank expansion. Page 145 in your packet. And I believe Jennifer's going to, Chris, or just have Jennifer come up and talk
I
to
think
this?
so, yeah. She could probably do better justice than I could.
Thank you. Well, yes, in your packet, and just to, formalize it, I believe, the supervisor and the manager both have continued to keep this board apprised as far as discussions with the city, commitments, and I think just overall acknowledgement of the township's desire to continue to provide quality, quantity water to your customers. This is logically a next step in the process as far as infrastructure upgrades. It's also consistent with your capital improvement plan that this board adopted. And Gordy Fraser's already been working on things conceptually related to this project, because this is the same location as where the booster station is going to be installed to help serve the south end of the township, including the Olson's development of note. But no, I wanted to provide to this board our scope of services, proposal, cost estimate. Because it's a big ticket item, and there's a lot of work involved associated with it. And we're under, pretty stringent timeline as far as 18 months. And goal is to align with that and keep things moving ahead. And at this point, aside from any infrastructure contractor availability, I see no reason why this won't, or see any challenges as far as meeting our timelines of 18 months that we've communicated to the city's requested, and we've correspondingly obliged with that. But to supplement is our contract, our scope of work, but then also the cost estimate to actually build the tank itself. What it is currently, some of you guys took the tour. I think most of you did. There really wasn't much to see because it's buried. But I assure you it's there. It's a 2.25 concrete tank. So there's quite a bit of structural involved because it's all poured in place, and a huge level of effort for construction activities, full-time construction inspection, and quite a feat just to watch it be built. But the last one was built in 2002. And so what this will do is provide a lot of additional storage for the township, but also create reliability and redundancy, because then we'll have a second tank that when we want to do any maintenance on the first tank that was built 20 years ago, we have the ability to, isolate cells and do that as well. But that's just secondary. The primary is, we're seeing a lot of growth if and when the township takes on the common service district, we're adding in more customers, Olson's more customers, and we want to continue to accommodate that both for everybody's domestic and their fire flow volumes. And so this will complement and be of same size, 2.25, providing 5 million gallons of storage for over half the township. And the hope being it's all fed from Booster Station 1, which is located on Molon Drive off Cass, and put less burden on that pump and pulling water from the city's water supply too. So providing a lot of moderation and just equalization of water supply. And with the tank, there's going to be infrastructure, there's going to be a mixing system, SCADA monitoring as far as tank levels. And yeah, I can go on and on if you want, or not. But no, I'm happy to entertain any questions that you guys have of me.
Yes.
You mentioned it meets the guidelines of a proposed contract with the city, one that hasn't been signed yet.
Yep, that would probably be, well, no, I stand corrected, because that's not in the comments. That is part of the Long Lake Agreement. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. There's, yes.
That agreement's in place.
Yes, that's an amendment number 2.
Okay.
There's a lot of them floating out there, but that one has all been vetted and signed by all parties. I think that portion was, yes, a condition of the cities with serving Long Lake customers. So, yes,
If you go
thank you.
back, and Jennifer, if you go back to basically a year and a half ago when we started with the city, this was actually our proposal to them because through analyzing the system, we realized, and not that it was that hard to figure out, that we didn't even have a day's worth of water at peak rates in our system. So the need to add additional storage was there, and that having that extra storage really not only helps different things, but it helps alleviate those peak days. If you have a really hot day, a lot of irrigation, you have more in storage, you can level off some of those peak days and not get into a bind. So it was all part of the original plan. It's part of our SIP. It's been in the works for a year and a half, and so that's kind of how we got to where we're at today. Yes.
This $11 million, do we have it budgeted, or how much?
It's in enterprise funds.
Is it enterprise? Okay.
Yeah, we have, yes. Chloe?
So in our CIP committee, we have it in 2027, so I just wanted to confirm that's still your plan, is to bid it in the spring of
Correct.
27?
Yeah, so how I set it up, if I recall, and I know last time we met as a CIP, I think I had some numbers to adjust, but the intent is the design part, which isn't all of our contract, but is very heavy this year, bidding in the winter. So with that timeline, yeah, I don't anticipate any reason there'd be any construction costs. So there's going to be just engineering fees on the front end for this year, but I'd say 80% of the costs are going to be 2027. That is absolutely correct.
Okay, I
Yep.
just want to make sure that the cash is available, because
Right.
it's $11 million.
Yeah.
And if you get, at some point, I'm assuming you'll get like a payment schedule or something from whoever is the contractor. Do you get something, like, do you pay in increments?
Yeah, so how it's set up
So if you could share
contractually.
that with me when you
Yeah,
get
they
it.
get, no, and it's been a minute, so that's a good question for some and others that are very familiar with it. So they get paid based on services rendered, just like I do. So typically, they have the means and wherewithal to submit a pay application once a month. I vet that with our inspection staff. We coordinate quantities, confirm quantities between our inspection and their site foreman, and create a pay application, and it's a standard EJCDC form, all part of their bid contract. Once I'm comfortable with it, contractor will sign it, I'll sign it, and then I submit it to this board, so that becomes an action item. And typically, it's just under your consent calendar. You guys, of course, can pull it if you have questions about it, but it will come to this board every month, and it's based on services rendered.
Okay.
And, but
There's no
there's.
schedule ahead of time. It's kind of like how much work they did.
Right.
Okay.
Yep, just like mine. Yeah,
So
you're
we
not
just
going
need
to
be
prepay.
ready with cash,
Right.
is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, good. Just keep me up to date on,
And Dawn, when working with the rate consultant on this, I mean, she has all these costs too. Same with, what we're getting from the city to factor in for accounting for rate structure. And Mr. Korn knows this very well. I mean, this project here has always been one that's been slated, even with the last rate study that was done. I mean, this was always a capital project, but, you know, I mean, we always had other priorities too, and so I think the proposition and the letter that the, Supervisor McManus had provided to the city, it helped make some concessions with them, even though big picture, really this is going to be, you guys are the ones that are going to benefit, the customers are going to benefit from this project, but it definitely went over very well with the city because they felt that they were not having to be taxed quite so much and having to provide so much water supply on, and, you know, for peak hours because we could kind of create a buffer. So ultimately, I mean, it's a win-win for everyone, and this helped appease them with the Long Lake situation.
I have a question. So, on the motion that we're going to eventually do here, is this just for the engineering
Yeah.
cost
Yeah.
of 1.192 million?
Yeah, but the motion should just be to authorize me to sign the contract with GFA
Okay.
for the engineering services. Yeah, the tank itself will probably come in another.
Yes, that's when we, yeah, just like McRae PRV last meeting,
When it's
once the
bid
project's
out,
put out for bid, I'll be in front of you guys with recommendations to move ahead. Yep.
I make a motion that Supervisor McManus sign a contract with the engineering company for the McBrake Hill Storage Tank expansion in the amount of $1,192,250.
Support.
Motion made and supported to authorize supervisor to sign the contract with GFA as stated. Any further discussion on that motion? I think, yeah.
Can we go back to the bidder and see if they can scale it back like we did with?
Maybe some value engineering.
No, I know, I'm seeing some smirks from you, I know.
Okay, I was just asking, I'm good.
If I wasn't busy before, I might be a little busier now.
A little bit.
You guys are my favorite.
$1 million busy.
Any,
It's a lot of work.
any other discussion on that topic? Hearing none, and we better have a roll call on that one.
Muckle?
Yes.
Was that McCumber? Who seconded? Oh, who
Molly.
seconded?
Molly.
Oh, Augustinelli.
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
McCumber?
Yes.
Lab?
Yes.
Elder?
Yes.
And Jay McManus.
Yes. don't
Well, I
think
appreciate you guys. You guys are stuck with me, so, no, I truly do appreciate it, and thank you for continuing to allow me to work on projects for you guys and represent you, so, thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. All right, moving on. The next item is the consideration of control of wildlife and wetland solutions for Buffalo Ridge Trail, treatment of control woody and invasive plants. And in layman's terms, this is a removal of autumn olive, invasive autumn olive. We do this how often, Chris?
Annually,
Annually, so,
or as needed, but it's been, I mean, since I've been here, it's been annually.
okay. So,
And there's a map in your packet that shows the area behind the YMCA. And we also have this in our approved parks budget to cover the $10,000 cost.
Do you need to make a motion to?
unless there's any questions on
Okay.
it. Yeah, Molly?
Yeah. There is a group of people that have goats that eat these things.
Really?
And the planning commission last year approved their place. It might be something to check into, I think through Seeds or one of those organizations. John could probably tell you which one it is. But my understanding is that the goats love autumn olive and they will just go out and eat it. And now, I don't know how they control them, but they rent them out to control that stuff, so.
Kind of like beehives during cherry pollination. huh?
Yeah,
You rent 'em
whatever they
out?
do, I don't want to seem like I'm, an environmental type guy, but still, I think it's I think it's something to check into.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sure.
it's
Clean up the
a
goat poop.
natural way of taking care of these plants and
They are amazingly
part of
invasive.
that if it would work. I think we maybe go ahead this year with this, but give Chris a little more work and he can check on the goats,
Certainly.
see what they do.
What's funny is it's an amazingly invasive plant. It's just
Yes.
crazy. But back 20, 30 years ago, we used to go to the conservation and district, and they would, you'd buy pines and different shrubs to plant. And at one point, they gave you this autumn olive to go out and plant, because to your point, goats love it, deer will eat it, a lot of species will eat it. So they were literally forcing it out there, and then they realized how invasive it was. And then at one point, it completely flipped. If you wanted to get shrubs, you had to eliminate all your autumn olive before they'd give you the shrubs to put out there. So it just went full circle. It was quite a I wouldn't call it a natural disaster, but quite a problem that was literally created by the
Real fast, and they stabilize slopes.
Yeah, crown veg. They did that
So
too.
anyway,
I make a motion that we contract with Wildlife and Wetland Solutions for the Buffalo Ridge Trail treatment to control woody and invasive plants.
I'll second that.
motion made and supported to enter into contract with Wildlife Wetlands for the control of the wooded plants in the amount of $10,000. Any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none, and we have a roll on that one, please.
Buckle.
Yes.
Corn.
Yes.
McCumber.
Yes.
Lapp.
Yes.
L. McManus.
Yes.
Gustinelli.
Yes.
And Jay McManus.
Yes. All right. Marathon session there tonight. Putting into work with all those roll calls. All right, next item is our second and final public comment. So we will go ahead and open up public comment at this time.
Justin Reed, 630 Cottage Drive, Apartment 1B, Traverse City resident. The Bread Drive, there's a tree that is down over on the unpaved section, and and also I don't think that the village or the commons have money to spare to fix Red Drive. So, thank you.
Thanks, Justin. All right. Any other public comment? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Is there any other business come before the board this evening? Yes?
Just want you to all know that Garfield ballots went out today, 4,997.
Wow.
First round of absentee ballots went out today.
Couldn't get that extra 3 more for 5,000, right?
Well, we did send out some military overseas on Saturday, so there was another 11 of those. So we
you're
are
over
over 5,000.
Wow.
Absentees.
All right.
You go.
And I've heard there's other municipalities that haven't even started yet.
That is true. We didn't get them till late Thursday.
Yeah.
And so we're off, and then I taught 2 training sessions, and we still got them done Monday night, 5:30.
Nice job. Good deal. Anything else to come before the board? Any comments? Any comments for the clerk? All right. If there's nothing else to come before the board, we are adjourned.